Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's time for our crafting guide for the new expansion, The Lost City of Un'Goro, Craft Dive the Galacadepths, the end. No, there's actually a lot of other cards we'll talk about that are definitely worth crafting. I will say we might do an updated version of this video because we are expecting a very large balance patch this week as per this tweet. They put out a tweet like that, you know changes are coming, likely this upcoming week, but there are a lot of cards that I feel are pretty safe to either not craft or craft, so we'll go over that as always. Put your suggestions in the comments down below, always appreciate that. And if you enjoy the content on the channel and you want to stay up to date on the news of that balance patch or updated decks or all the different stuff we got going on, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, as yeah, it helps keep this whole thing going. So yeah, we'll go class by class. We're only going to talk about epics and legendaries, as rares and commons are pretty easy to come by. Starting off with the Deathlight quest, I think we're going to be passing on a lot of quests, at least as of this video. But yeah, Reanimate the Terror is not performing particularly well in any single deck. The win rate is like just really low. I expect this to get buffed, whether it's losing like a rune requirement or spend less corpses, or maybe give like Tyrax, right? Give that minion taunt or rush or something, right? There's possibilities for it. Again, we'll talk more about that stuff tomorrow's nerf and buff prediction video, because let's be real, we need buffs. Yeah, so right now, definitely could pass on that. Wave of Tar, not a particularly great card. The 2 AoE is not nearly enough. The AoE, like the disruption of it, can be okay, but still, card's not performing well. I figured this would be an amazing card. It's a good discover option, but as of right now, no way I can recommend crafting Wave of Tar. However, Reanimated Pterodax, phenomenal card. I underrated this. I think I gave it a 3 or a 2. I don't know what I was on. This is like a 5-star card. This goes into almost every Deathlight deck right now, and none of them are like thriving out of like craziness right now, but if you want to play Deathlight, this is a card you are going to want to have for quite some time. And High Cultist Heron is actually a card that, you know what, we'll upgrade it to Golden just to prove that I do feel this is worth crafting. I've seen Starship decks run it. There's like these scam Death Rattle decks. It's kind of a really just a good scam legendary, pulling out some big stuff, or just getting 2 Death Rattles out of your deck, thinning your deck, getting those active can be really solid. And this is slotting in to, like I said, scamish decks, control-y style decks can help out with your Elise, which we'll talk about her later. I think it's worth a craft, and I think it'll only get better as we get more Death Rattles, and also when the next patch comes in and Deathlight might have a bit more space to breathe for some of these other archetypes. So half the Deathlight cards, we're off to a good start. And oh god, we have Demon Hunter, where yeah, Unleash the Colossus, the numbers on this deck are atrocious. Deck win rate somewhere around like 30% across all ranks. Brutal. I expect it to get buffed. I don't know if it'll be worth making after that, but as of now, hard pass. Fumigate doesn't really go into any decks. Probably the best of the bunch, to be honest with you. But even though Murloc Paladin is like really the most popular thing out there across all ranks, and this would deal 3 to all Murlocs, it's still not worth playing, right? And also doesn't kill Murlocs for very long at that point. So yeah, Fumigate you could pass. Garishi Wasp is just a tremendously terrible card. This should at least have rush or something, but it doesn't. So yeah, absolute hard pass. The deck win rate on decks that run this card is like 25%. And then I gotta look at sparse data to find Toru stats, and yeah, it is not so good. They originally had this at 6 mana, I believe, and then they put it all the way to 9. Might get a buff, there's a possibility, but as it stands, yes, Demon Hunter, do not craft any of the epics and legendaries now. And I'd be pretty surprised outside of the quest or maybe Fumigate that after like the next balance patch you'd want to craft any of these. For Druid, pretty similar story, but not quite nearly as bad because of a certain card. But yeah, life cycle, not really seeing much play in anything right now. This is a card I expect to see play at some point in Druid. It just needs the right minion to kind of like sack off and do some pretty good stuff that just isn't there yet. And we'll talk about the minion it's supposed to go with. So can't really recommend that. Restore the Wild, I expect to be a meta player. It's not as far off as a lot of the quests. We'll show the one that you can read. It's not as far off as some of the bad quests, and and there's better stuff to do in Druid right now. I think across all ranks it's at like 40-something%, but I expect that number to go up considerably after the next balance patch. So this is one where if you really like the card, you really like Token Druid, and you really like quests, I feel like you could craft it, but this is more of the like a futures investment where you think that, yeah, maybe it'll be good later. So yeah, obviously probably hold off on this one until the next patch and stuff, but something to keep in the back of your mind that it isn't that bad compared to some of these other cards. Unlike Eternal Blood Petal, yeah, you could life cycle it, but then you're stuck with an 0-1 and really hard to constantly buff it. There's not that many good buff spells, and it doesn't really work that well to Restore the Wild when you're playing a 4-mana solitary 5/1 minion. So yeah, Eternal Blood Petal would not craft. And yeah, if you want a free 1600 dust or 3200 dust on your golden, this is basically an auto must craft right now, because you could just craft this card, get your dust later. There's almost 0% chance this card is not getting nerfed. What it enables is just outright stupid. Its play to win rate across all ranks is 70%. You play this card, you almost always win. Because yeah, you could get Ceaseless out, you could get Giants out. People are playing with like Alonius to like just scam that way. And the only way to really balance this card isn't nerfing around it. You can't make Ceaseless 300 mana because it will still be 0 mana when you play this, and then Holy Wrath is even better in Wild. So yes, low auto craft, and you're almost certainly getting your dust back. So if you want to try out the card, you kind of have a free pass right now because it's almost certainly going to get nerfed. For Hunter, we got some cards I feel like you could craft. The Food Chain, not doing well at all. Cannot recommend it remotely. It's sub 30% win rate. Like, it's atrocious. There's not that many like 5 and 7 attack beasts, and the reward can be bad. You can play the 5-mana 9/9 with Rush, which is fine, but the 8/6/4, they can just be bad cards, and you still have to invest mana in them. It's just not good for a quest payoff to really have a build around. When your reward isn't even consistently good, yeah, you have a bit of a problem. So as a result, there's 0 chance I can recommend that. Neri, absolutely. I think this is a craft, particularly if you want to play Discover Hunter. There's builds around it. I've been OTK'd on turn 6 by this card, by the Grifta 6 damage amulet. They copied it. They had 2 of them. That's 24 damage with Neri, and then they had 1 Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and I was dead at 30. So there's a lot of potential for this card. It's doing fine. Like, Neri Hunter's a decent deck, and it'll probably only get better with the next patch. So Neri, if you want to craft it, absolutely probably worth it. Ravasor Matriarch, I feel like if Beast Hunter comes into more fruition, it's certainly a card you could consider, but it has to have the Kindred, otherwise it's a crap card. And the decks that kind of want to do that, you want to be more proactive on 4 than getting a 5/4 out that kills something. This is really a quest card, and as a result, yeah, I cannot recommend this. But Supreme Dynamancy is so good. It's another card I'm gonna upgrade. I just think, yeah, you want this card if you're playing Hunter right now. It's really good in Beast Hunter. If the quest is ever good, it'll probably be good there. I'm just not really in Discover Hunter, which is the other main archetype, but Beast Hunter's pretty decent, and this is one of the best cards. It's got like it's the only card that like kind of elevates the deck it's in. And I think it'd be worth crafting if you're playing Hunter, but it's not nearly at the top of my list of craft cards. You probably start with Neri, then maybe Supreme Dynamancy. But yeah, I think it's a solid card that you could absolutely consider crafting. For Mage, even though the quest is not killing it, it's like 40% right now, I think it's a worthwhile craft. It's so fun. Like, this card is fun, and I think it'll get good at some point. They might buff it, or just nerfing the like this super aggressive stuff would help a lot. And getting those discovers could just be insane, whether it's like dragons or legendaries or some big spells. This one I'm more recommending on a fun level, but I do think it'll get to a point where it's decent. Like, it doesn't feel that far behind, but the stats do reflect otherwise, so I understand if you want to pass on it. But I think the card's cool, and I do think it will have its time to shine. Unearth Artifacts, I think I gave a 1 early on, and yeah, it's bad. Like, a random 4 cost minion for 2 mana, it's just not worth your time. I really don't think so. This is more of Discover, like get it off Glyph for free, or get it off Tide Pools and play it. I don't think this is a card even in this deck, because it doesn't even Discover. You want all the Discover stuff you can get, so that really kind of sucks for that. So Unearth Artifacts, I would pass. Conjured Bookkeeper, Elemental Mage, honestly, the best kind of deck that got really going on. The deck win rate for this card, it's a low play rate, but it's around 50%. If you're really into the elemental stuff, this is a good card. And Elemental Mage, I feel like will pick up steam as we go along. This is one to keep in your mind, where if you're considering it, yeah, the stats on this card, I'm just looking like deck win rate 45%, but like the drawn win rate, the played win rate, the mulligan win rate, all better on this card, meaning it's elevating the decks it's in. So it's certainly a card you can consider. And yeah, I would recommend it, but only, yeah, strictly Elemental Mage, which is not like a top tier deck at the moment. And Titanographer, not really very good. Be better if you could like discover a Titan ability and use it rather than just it's a random one. Like that would be so much more helpful, or make it cheaper. But as a result, yeah, right now this card's not really seeing play outside of, yeah, get your achievement. There's an achievement for this thing of playing Titan abilities. But overall, yeah, I'm gonna say pass on Titanographer Osk, even though it is a pretty cool card. Everybody's favorite class, let's go. Obviously, dive the Galak Depths. Meta Tyrant, although falls off really hard at higher ranks where everything is built, like basically the meta is completely warped around this, where you want to play pure aggression to get ahead and kill this deck. Otherwise, it's really hard to deal with infinite sweeping stats on Murlocs. So it's really punishing to anything slower or more, for at least players like me, fun. But yeah, it's a very likely nerf candidate. Although I will say on this one, I'm a bit more prone to say this could not get nerfed, and they could nerf around it, because if you look at like high legend and stuff like that, it's fallen off. They might just nerf a couple of the really good Murlocs, which would put it down even more. This one might not be an auto refund is what I'm trying to say. Whereas low, the only possible way to balance this card is to nerf the card itself. We'll see. I expect this card probably to get nerfed at some point, but it's certainly a safe craft. If you want to play Murloc Paladin, yeah, you can. Just be aware, it's probably getting nerfed this week, and it might not even be this card, so you might not get your dust back on this. So again, big asterisk on this card. I haven't seen Creature of the Sacred Cave played at all. Deck win rate on it, even for the little bit it's played, not great. I don't think I gave this card a very good review. It's just very expensive, and then you gotta put holy spells on top of it. Can be okay in Librams, but Librams haven't been good in Standard, like almost at all, whereas in Wild, yeah, it's good, but you don't want to play this in Wild. So yeah, I can't recommend it. Ito of the Thresh or whatever, not seeing a ton of play. It's not the worst card out there. It just, there's not really a major dominant archetype for it. But looking at the stats, like deck win rate 47%, drawn win rate 48%, played win rate 48%, it's like near that bubble. So a card you might want to consider if you own it. You might not want to disenchant it. You might want to see what it happens after the patch. But yeah, definitely not a card you want to go out of your way to crafting. And Thresh Rider's Blessing sees like almost no play, not particularly amazing. You need a board for this to be good, and then it needs to kind of get the death and the death rattle to really be worth your time. Like you can't even really combo it with this. Yeah, I'll pass. So basically only maybe craft this card depending on, you know, how things go, and something to consider in the future. So as dominant as Paladin has been, crafting wise, you don't really need to do too much for that class. For Priest, they got some cards here. Reach Equilibrium. I love the card. I love the design. It is really bad. It's really bad. The payoff is okay, but it takes a while to get there, and it doesn't win you the game. And when you're having to jump through such hoops and it doesn't win you the game, it's pretty hard to play a card like this. It has a sub 30% win rate, and I'm still not going to craft a golden quite yet because I'm not planning on playing it in the future. So yeah, I wouldn't craft it, at least as of yet, but it is a really cool card. I want to say that. I think it's really cool, but yeah, it's not seeing a ton of play. Obviously, Arca iOS, unbelievably busted card, potential nerf candidate at some point. Whenever another friendly mini attacks, set its health equal to the min's health. It's just absurd in any aggressive deck early. It just wins. Like, how is this fair? It's a total mulligan style card. Although the mulligan win rate isn't as high as you would think on it, around 55%, but an absolute auto craft if you want to play those more aggressive decks. But avoid this nightmare fuel. That face. That face is a face only a mother, what is it, bird? A mother bird could possibly love. Resuscitate, another absolute auto craft. This goes into pretty much every priest deck right now, like aggressive, Protoss, or even the OTK deck. They all play this. It's all so good. One more mana than Rally, but getting Reborn on everything is just nuts. It's a shadow spell. It is I don't know if it's the safest craft here other than Low, the Druid card. It's so good. This card is so good. If you're playing priest, you want this card unless you're playing Wild, where it actually is too slow for Wild. But yeah, phenomenal card. And would you believe it or not, Glade Song Siren, a card that you can make 1 mana for just playing some cheap Holy and Shadow spells, it sucks. It's not good. The numbers on it are nearly like 30% deck win rate. Mulligan win rate's even worse. It just doesn't work. There's not enough cheap Shadow Holy spells to really get it going consistently. That was the problem I had every time I played this card. I found it stuck in my hand all the time, and that's probably the issue. There's just not enough cheap spells to abuse. So something to keep on your radar for more cards that are added. But right now, yeah, you can absolutely pass. But yeah, half the priest cards you could definitely consider. Oh boy, Rogue. I'm not looking forward to looking at these numbers. Oh my god, the Rogue numbers. I'm not going to go into detail on these cards. I'm just not. I will just show you the stats that I'm looking at. This is Diamond through Legend Rogue cards. The highest deck win rate for any of these cards is the card I thought would be the best of the bunch, Opu. 30%. Everything else is sub 20%. That's amazing. That is historically bad on every single level. So yes, don't craft any of this. Wait for buffs, and they're gonna have to be insane buffs to see some playbooks. Oh my god, those are some bad Rogue cards. Moving on to Shaman. I see a lot of red here too, but it's not nearly as bad. Brahma, probably the best of the bunch. There's quite a few like elemental tempo, like menagerie decks out there that are seeing some play, and Brahma's a good part of that. Again, I expect after the next patch she'll get, or heal, is it she makes a molten lava cake. She will get even better. And yeah, it's certainly a card. If you have it, keep it. And if you want to play those decks, it's probably a worthwhile craft. You won't feel too bad about it. Spear the Mountain's dreadful, like sub 30%. Absolutely cannot recommend crafting this quest yet. Probably another one that will get buffed. Again, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. But yeah, this quest not performing very well, and it's going to take some serious work to make it a winning strategy. Lava Flow's not too far off, but I feel like the other fire spell, you just want to hit that instead with your tutor card, the one that creates the 1-drop. So you don't really want to play this. You only really want the draw fire spell, the damage fire spell, and not so much this one. So you probably pass on it at the moment. And Slag Claw, if you want to play like the more menagerie decks, it isn't really making the cut because it's kind of contesting with like Jug and Curator. Like, it's a good card. I would not be shocked if it sees play after the patch, but as it stands right now, it's just not really making the cut. But I would be shocked if this doesn't see play at some point. So again, if you own this card, I wouldn't disenchant it or anything like that. Hold on to it, see what happens. And as for, yeah, crafting it, again, probably hold off for now. But if you really like it, I don't think you would regret crafting that card. For Warlock, I don't really see Warlock like at all this set. I pretty much haven't. All the cards are in the red, but it doesn't matter. This is the easiest craft in Warlock in a long time. The second Warlock is playable, you are playing Cursed Catacombs. This card is insanely good. 0 mana, effectively draw a card unless you can't play it, but that's pretty rare. In Wild, it's absolutely cracked. In Discard Warlock, it's seeing play in Reno decks. It's seeing play in every Wild deck, period, for Warlock. It's so good. So even though there's not really a good Warlock deck right now, this is an easy craft. I'll guarantee you this card will be very good the second Warlock is playable. Escape the Underfell. Again, another sub 30% quest, but such a cool one. Once that portal gets going, it's nuts. It just takes a while. It takes quite a while. So if it gets buffed that it doesn't take nearly as long, then we're talking and we'll see. But yeah, as it stands, I can't recommend it, but it's a really sick card that if you want to, I still wouldn't blame you. So we'll see what happens with it. Getting those beasts is pretty cool because you get charge, you get lifesteal, you get taunt. You got to get there and usually dead before you can. Razordeer, it's just okay, but it really needs a deck that consistently curves into it. You can't really build a deck to just win with this. So it's not really seeing a ton of play. It's more of just discover this in arena and be gross in arena. Other than that, I cannot recommend Razordeer, and nobody expected this card to be good, but shockingly, it's really bad. Don't craft this. It has, like, nobody plays this card. It's like 0.3% of decks, 30% deck win rate. Awful card. Just don't bother. But yeah, I would recommend craft Curse Catacombs, and then you could consider Escape the Underfell. But again, I would wait for buffs, because again, this deck is terrible right now, and I imagine that will be a buff candidate. And the last class-specific thing here, we have Warrior, where Enter the Lost City is a craft. This card, although not exceptional, it's good in like the Hydration Warrior. A lot of times you want to mulligan it away. You only want to keep it in slower matchups, but it's good there. And Warrior is at that level even before we're expecting that big balance patch at a level of playability. And the best lists pretty much run this card. It's super fun, getting like Time Warp and getting random Murlocs. Like, it's a really fun card. I will say my favorite time playing this so far was in Arena, where I almost went 12-0 with this damn thing. And that's the only class I'm missing 12-0 with is Warrior. But yeah, I can recommend it. It is competitive. It is fun. I don't think you will regret crafting it. Even if you're not going to have a dominant win rate, you will still have a pretty darn good time with that card. Stonecarver, I think, will be a decent card at some point, but there's not enough Rage Warrior stuff going around. There just isn't. You got some stuff, and it'll be really good with that, but outside of like playing the location on this card and itself, there's not a lot going for it. So it's not performing amazingly well, not terribly, but definitely not a card you want to craft. Same with City Defenses. It's a lot of stats, but at 0 attack, it's so easy just to get them killed for nothing, or they only do like 1 damage. Like, it's just not enough, and the card is not performing well, so that's a pass. And as expected, Nablia, too greedy, too slow. If you're already in a position where this is good, you're probably winning the game, and the numbers are not good on it. So the only craft for Warrior, I would say, is Enter the Lost City. And then we hit up the neutrals, where there are some decent cards out there, like Ancient Raptor. It's still not a bad card, right? Is it a free card? I don't think it is. Ancient Raptor is not a bad card in like token decks. It's got the beast tag. You get the death rattles out there. If you want to play stuff like that, it's absolutely fine. It's nothing crazy, but you really can't go super wrong with this card. Just feels like for an epic, it just doesn't feel very epic, you know? I don't know. It's more of a, to me, it's more of a common or rare card. Not amazing in its flavor, but a decent card. So you could possibly craft it. Crystal Tinder, absolutely terrible. I don't know what you're playing this in. The stats on are like 33%. Just not a great card. Tortolid Storyteller, this will tell a story in itself. Jug decks, Menagerie decks are unbelievably good right now, right? Dominant. They don't play this card, which is something that would go into a Menagerie deck. So yeah, you don't want this card. It's not worth your time. It's kind of just funny that it doesn't even slot into those decks. Elise, the easiest craft of the neutral bunch. Like, she is seeing plenty of play already. She's only gonna get better. You kind of almost can't whiff on her locations. Like yesterday, the first time I got a location, I'm like, man, that kind of sucked, but getting the attack, copying, getting raptors, getting spells are all great. The only thing that's kind of bad is like sometimes spell damage, and that's about it. Like, the death rattle's bad, like almost always. So you kind of get stuck with those options a little bit, but overall, she's phenomenal. And she also just kind of changes the way you build your deck, right? You have to have one of each cost. It makes Wisp kind of interesting to throw into decks. And yeah, absolutely 100% craft Elise if you didn't get the Tavern Pass, but also just an incentive to buy that Tavern Pass at what, like $20? You get this Diamond Elise and a lot of other cards. It's pretty sweet. So yes, absolutely a craft. We also have Torga, which isn't doing good at all. 27% deck win rate. I thought this would slot into so many decks. You're drawing 2 cards that have specific synergies, but if you think about it, how many classes are using Kindred right now? Like the Murloc stuff, and not a lot. Kindred has been a bit of a dud. You don't have Kindred stuff for it. What are you doing with it? So that's kind of been the hindrance. Like Dark Gifts, the prior set, Kindred, not working great yet. Maybe it'll pick up later, but Torga right now is a pass. Stormbrewer, yeah, not a very good card right now. The elemental decks, it's got Kindred, right? So it's for 5 mana, it's just not enough. Like, it's just a rusher that often will just die, and it has to have Kindred to gain rush. It's just, yeah, not a good card. I will say that the sample size I'm working off of on H's replay is 0% because nobody is playing this card. I'm literally not kidding. Nobody is playing this card. This is free, so you don't have to worry about it, and it's not very good, but that's, you know, at least it's free. Umbra is good, but it's also free. So again, one you don't have to worry about. Ravenous Devilsaur, is this possible to craft, or is it a free one? I don't know. It looks like you can craft it. I probably got it for free off of, I don't know, the pass or whatever. Regardless, it's a pass. It's 7 mana, kill something. That's not good enough in today's game. And Crater King is 9 mana, somewhat limit the board. It's not as bad as you'd think if you look at the stats, but not many people are playing it. It doesn't go into a ton of decks. Probably not a card you want to craft until there's a way to cheat it out and like Hunter with Imbue way more reliably. So there you go. Yes, a lot of cards to pass on, but a lot more to get than you might think. And again, we are expecting a large balance patch this week coming up. So maybe we'll update this in the future, but I wanted to give you guys an idea of how things are shaping up. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.